Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. This is the first Slasher Scotty interview in almost a year because I've been busy with grad school. I am on spring break, but I don't get a break, unfortunately, because I've been still doing midterms and all that. But anyways, I have on my show, please welcome Jiggylookback. He's a YouTuber, Banjo-Kazooie super fan. Hell, he is a Nintendo super fan.
Heck yeah, I am. What an
Yes,
intro. I should
absolutely.
also add a Donkey Kong 64 Defender.
There you go. There you go. Oh my God, Donkey Kong is awesome, and Mario is awesome, and I'm so glad we're doing this interview because Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, was announced for 2024 last year, and it finally was released on Mario 10 as giving a release date, which is May, I think it's 23rd.
Yes, yeah, May 20. I think I'm confirming that like I'm 100%. Yes. That sounds right.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's May 23rd. I just did my pre-order. It's a little pricey for a remake. I do have the original on the GameCube, which is
Classic.
awesome.
Super expensive.
I have the same one since it released, so maybe $50 when it released. Now it goes for well over $100.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think the cheapest I've seen it is maybe 200.
yeah,
It's a pretty pricey one.
it's pretty pricey. Yeah, so but I have that and I had to get the remake. I mean, I love the game and I want to support the game because I love Paper Mario, the Origami King, but I don't like the battle system. Paper Mario
Yeah,
was so good. It was so perfect.
that traditional battle system, Paper Mario 1, Paper Mario 2, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. There's just
Yeah.
something about it. It's just special. It's kind of pulling or it's hanging off of that Super Mario RPG era and kind of
Yeah.
that. I love that. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, also great. Partners in
Yep.
Time, even better.
Yeah, and Thousand Year Door is so dark. It is so dark. I mean, eh, how do you say that a game is not dark when there's a noose literally at the beginning of the game in the middle of the town?
It's got a spooky atmosphere.
Yes, but it's a great game. It's one of my favorites of all times, along with Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Kazooie was always ahead of Banjo-Tooie for me, but since I met you, Banjo-Tooie is, I think, taking the lead.
I can only hope. That is my influence, my contribution to society. I have to fight for Banjo. I don't know why I feel this compulsion to fight for Banjo-Tooie specifically.
Mhm.
I'm always like, yes, Kazooie's great, but have you played Tooie?
Right.
Okay, have you played it? It's one of those things. As a kid, I love Banjo-Kazooie. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. Like Banjo-Kazooie, as far as I'm concerned, it's a 10 out of 10 game. It's perfect.
Right.
Okay. Banjo-Tooie, I can acknowledge has flaws.
Hmm.
There's some design flaws, but I just look at this game. I'm like, okay, it's not perfect, but the elements that it has that I love about Banjo-Kazooie, it does better.
Yeah.
Like, so how do you wrestle with that? I'm like, I ended up, I think I gave Banjo-Kazooie on my scale like a 9 out of 10, and I gave Tui a 9.5. And that
Nice.
was how I justified it. I'm like, I don't think I've ever handed out a 10. I was like, Kazooie's like, you can't fault it, but there's things I like more about Tui, and I'm just like, I gotta put it above it. It's my scale. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
But oh
Absolutely.
man.
And for those that are listening to this and watching this, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on all the audio podcasting platforms, you just got a glimpse of how we're gonna geek out over Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Mario, and all the fun stuff. But before we go right into that, you do have a defending Banjo-Tooie video on your
I
YouTube
do.
channel, Jiggylookback. So before we go into that and all the fun videos that you do, why don't you tell everybody about your channel, where they can find your channel, and what is it about?
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
All right.
So I made this YouTube channel in 2022. The reason being, I actually was watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I've kind of always wanted to do YouTube. I've kind of always wrestled with the idea. I've tried a few different things, but never really found like a niche or like something that I really could latch onto. And then I was watching a video. It was specifically by Press A, if you know who that is. Which great guy. Like no knock at all to the guy, but his opinions were the opposite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it particularly came to Banjo-Tooie and Donkey Kong 64.
Mm-hmm.
And Donkey Kong 64, for me, although I would say Banjo-Tooie is my favorite N64 game of all time, Donkey Kong 64 is like that game that it was my first game that I ever, like, it was mine, right? It was the first one I ever owned. I have a tremendous amount of nostalgia for it. It's not bias. It's just, I just have this thing, you know, I can acknowledge the flaws in it again, but I love it so much. And I see the value in it. I see the charm. I see the characters, even from an outside perspective. You know, I look at this thing and I'm like, how do you not think this is a good game? Like, it's got so many elements. Sure, it's got some flaws. I was like, but how do you put a video out on the internet saying it's awful and it killed a genre and it did all these things? It's got the DK rap. I mean, what more? Like, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's such a goofy thing. So I'm like, you know what? I don't like this guy's opinion. I'm going to put my own positive spin. I was like, I'm going to, you know, try to work past my bias and I'm going to give an accurate review. I was like, I'm going to do a long play of this game, start to finish, but I'm going to analyze and review every single aspect of this game. And an hour and a half later, that's where you get with that video, which became the first analyzing everything, which started my channel. So I do, since then I've grown, I do retrospectives, which is my analyzing everything. I do kind of game theory style videos. It's really about any game, character, or world that I feel compelled to do, but I do focus a lot on Rareware and Nintendo 64 because it's just where my heart is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I do a bunch of Banjo related stuff, Conquer related stuff, a little bit of Mario, a little bit of Sonic thrown in there. I love Sonic too. It's in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The name is actually kind of funny because immediately going by the name, you think, oh, Banjo channel, which yes, I was going for that, but I actually, you know, it started out, I didn't have I had Donkey Kong content before Banjo, but I went with the Jiggylookback for a few reasons. One reason is I actually was formerly the Studley Gamer on Twitch, and I played horror games, okay, and my whole thing was like being like kind of Luigi-esque, where it's like I'm actually scared and I'm playing these games and like I like horror games, but I'm a baby. And so I'd just be like the Studley Gamer, but I'd be like, you know, shaking and like, all right, let's do it, you know, to push through it. But I started, like, at one point I expressed my love for Banjo-Kazooie and it just started regurgitating out of me. And I just started talking about all these rare games and things like it naturally devolved from this Studley Gamer persona. And I stopped that. And then I reemerged on YouTube. It was a rebirth, if you will. And when I was doing that, I was playing Banjo-Tooie.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I got to think of a name. I was like, I definitely want to be like some sort of like retro, like retrospective, like reviews and analyzing and all that stuff. And I'm like, so I came up with the look back part and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Could I put a word in front of that? Like what's something that would mean something? And then I was thinking about all the games and like, well, Banjo, I was like, it could be like, I was like, banana, that sounds stupid. I was like, and I was like, Jiggy, oh, it's Jiggylookback. That sounds pretty good. And then I went with it. And then I was like really looking in and dialing into Jiggy Wiggy, because that's the point where I was at in Tooie, Jiggy Wiggy's temple. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jiggylookback, all one word. And
Nice.
so I kind of joke, I'm like, Jiggy Wiggy's my papa.
Nice.
It's kind of like a little inside joke, but yeah, so that's how I came up with the name and the reason for the channel. And since then it's just grown exponentially and keeps growing every day.
Nice.
So
yeah,
it's pretty wild. I like to have people that I personally watched. Like I recently just had Boundary Break comment on my defending DK64 video, and he was like, thank you for providing a counterweight to the public opinion about this game. And I was like, you bet. I was like, I love your videos, because Boundary Break was that I don't know if you've ever seen Boundary Break. Shout out to Boundary Break
Yeah.
because I love those videos. It's so cool to see outside of the borders of maps and games, and he does a lot of
Yeah.
banjo stuff too. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love like I mean when I'm in bed with my fiance and we're just watching YouTube or whatever and he's on his phone and I'm on my phone and he's watching whatever he wants to watch and he finds really good stuff that he likes that he really
Yeah.
likes and there's a lot of it on there. And I'm like he's like, "What's going on over there with you?" And I'm like, "I can't find any more good banjo content or Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door content. Like I'm looking for this content, and there's not as much as everything else out there. Like
Yeah.
like it's not as much." And then I met you on Reddit of all places, and I don't even think I messaged you on Reddit. I just saw you post in a banjo group I'm in or subreddit or whatever that I'm in, and you posted the thing of hashtag bring banjo back. And I went to your
Yes.
profile and I on Reddit and I found your Twitter, which God, I'm a stalker. I found your Twitter
It's
and I messaged you on
that's the
Twitter.
spiral.
Right. I messaged you on Twitter and we just clicked. We just really clicked. And then I joined your Discord and we private messaged, we talked, we became buddies, and I was on your tier list, for your channel. I have you on
Yeah.
Slash to Scotty. And it's great how this all happened because I found so much banjo content on your site. I'm like, this is the hidden gem I've been looking for.
You know, it's pretty cool because I've had a couple people say something similar
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, man, they're like, the banjo community needs more vocal people like you that can make these type of videos to like really just generate some buzz around banjo, which is totally my goal. That's all I want to do is just bring awareness for these games. And
Mm-hmm.
not that banjo particularly needs like someone like me to come in and say, oh, it's a good game. Like everybody knows it's a good game, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's just bringing something new to the table that maybe hasn't been done before. And when I say that, like, yes, I have retrospectives. Yes, I give my thoughts. I analyze everything, but I also have like theories. Like I have a video where I talk about the immeasurable power of Banjo's backpack. Like it's like totally kind of out of the box stuff that I don't know how I came up with it or where my brain like pulled that out of
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, but it's just me regurgitating my thoughts. Like I have a thought one day, I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool video. And then I formulate a video and
Yeah.
it's cool. But I often think to myself, what would I have wanted to watch
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube when I watch YouTube? Like what would I want to watch?
Yep.
And that's kind of my content separates itself a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I always thought, and I don't think you did these videos, but I always thought there would be three really good videos that would be great about the banjo community. One, the backstory of Gruntilda.
Oh,
What
that's interesting.
what is her backstory? Where does she get the magic? Like we know all the Grunty facts from Gruntilda. What is Gruntilda's backstory? What is her how did her relationship with Gruntilda become so vile that
Can
she
I
wanted to take her down?
can I add something to that right
Yeah.
now? I have heard, I don't know where this is from,
Hmm.
but I have heard that Mumbo and Grunty had the same teacher. Either
Okay.
they had the same teacher and knew each
I heard
other,
that too.
or Mumbo was the teacher, but I think they were both students of the same like
Hmm.
magical master.
Yep.
And so that's really interesting to me. And that could be a super cool rabbit hole to go down to. Like,
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah.
Another video.
Yeah, and that was going into my second point of maybe like a two-parter where the backstory of Gruntilda and then ending it with her and Mumbo kind of like having that same teacher. And then how did Mumbo and Gruntilda become so bad that Mumbo sides with Banjo and Kazooie? Is that a mask, that skull, or is that his face, or is his face deformed and he wears that as a mask? Did she put it into the shape of a skull?
Yeah.
Like, things like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I've heard that his head is actually like cursed by Grunty, and
I
that's
heard
why
that
it's a
too. Yeah.
skull, but otherwise he looks like a Jinjo underneath, is what I heard.
Oh, I didn't
Which
hear that part. That's cool. And that was my third point was
yeah.
the history of the magicalness, I guess if that's a word it is now, of the Jinjos. Like
Yeah.
because in Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge, you have that oracle, right? And supposedly that's supposed to be a Jinjo, I guess, that died and it's its soul or something like that. So maybe that's where it all started, but what is the history of these creatures known as the
Yeah.
Jinjos?
What is a Jinjo?
What is a Jinjo? Is
What
it an
is a
alien?
Jinjo?
Is it a bear? Is it a gummy bear?
I like the idea of a gummy bear. That's funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think there's supposed to be, in my mind, there's supposed to be like some sort of elf-like
Yeah.
woodland creature, like
Yeah.
just a magical little creature that lives there. But it's like, what?
Yeah. I'm so annoyed because I on Amazon, I think I told you this. I bought 4 Banjo-Kazooie figurines, the total like $200. I got the
Mhm.
2D one, I got the Mumbo Jumbo one, I got the Banjo-Kazooie one, and I ordered a Jinjo one. And the Jinjo one came in, and that was the most expensive one that I bought. It was 50, like a little
Yep.
over $50. And I freaking got something from The Witcher, the movie or TV show The Witcher.
Oh no. Wait,
Yeah.
instead, not in
Instead,
it.
I didn't get the
Oh,
Jinjo, and instead it was delivered, and it was no Jinjo. It was The Witcher.
oh, I do like The Witcher, but it's hard to not be disappointed.
Yeah, I paid $50. I never saw The Witcher, which is shocking because I'm horror, but I wanted the Jinjo one, and I got The
Oh man.
Witcher.
Yeah, those Jinjos, the YouTube's figures you're talking about, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
yeah, the Jinjo had like 5 color variants,
yes.
and that's the only reason why I never jumped on the Jinjo, because I want them all. and
Yeah,
they're pretty expensive, they're pretty
yeah.
pricey. But I do have that I picked up on the rare store. Hang on,
All right, let's see it.
which I don't think you mentioned.
Oh, I don't have bottles on the Rare store.
Yeah, it was an exclusive on the Rare store online. I'm not sure if he's still available, but it said limited edition. So immediately I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy
How
this right
much was that,
away.
if you don't mind me asking?
Mm, 34 maybe.
Actually, not that bad. That's basically the average of what all my figurines cost a piece. The Jinjo was the most expensive for $50, and I didn't even get the Jinjo. But
Yeah.
I bought them on Amazon too, so I didn't buy any of them from the U2s or whatever store. I bought them right from
Yeah.
Amazon.
I bought all of those from the YouTube store except for bottles, which was a
Okay.
rare store
What ones
exclusive.
do you have?
Okay. Hang on. Let me grab all of them.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we'll start with the banjo ones. So I'm not like super. It's so funny because you look at the
Uh-huh.
thing behind me and you think that guy collects a lot of crap. I don't. I don't even have a lot of figures. There's just like certain game series that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Right.
buy that.
Yeah,
And banjo's one of them. And so I have 2D, obviously.
that's the one I have. Yep.
Yep. I think I have all the same except I have bottles in addition. Mumbo,
Okay.
which honestly, Mumbo's my favorite.
Yeah.
I think Mumbo's the coolest one.
Yeah, I love Mumbo.
And then I got this banjo.
Yep. I think yeah, that's the one I got.
There's also one where he's like laying on the ground like
Okay,
that.
I didn't know that. I don't
And
have that
then
one.
bottles.
All right.
But I do have, continuing the rareware trend, picked up Conquer. So that it's War Conquer with the
That's
dual
cool.
guns. Teddies.
That's cool.
Hate those guys. And this is the cream of the crop for my YouTube's figures. This is the
Okay.
cream of the crop. Okay. This is the
All right.
one that it's limited edition. I had to buy G Fuel, a
Okay.
special G Fuel box that was way more expensive to get it.
Mm-hmm.
The G Fuel is flavored. This character, it's very interesting.
Okay.
The Great and Mighty Pooh.
Ooh.
So
Love it.
I love this one.
I
It's so
freaking love
cool.
that.
And then recently, because they just announced it on the store, like I guess it's been a while at this point, but I got it not long ago.
Hmm?
Rayman.
Oh, nice.
So I
Nice.
those are all the ones I have, but I was like super pumped.
Nice.
Yeah, Great Mighty Pooh was most expensive for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like I'm gonna probably go on the YouTube store and actually buy the Jinjos, see how much they are. If they're $50, I'll buy it one more time. If they give me the Witch, well, they gave me the Witcher because it was on Amazon, so it might have been a third party seller. I don't
Gotcha.
I don't know, but I'm gonna actually go to the YouTube store and buy the Jinjos. I don't trust Amazon for those anymore.
Yeah, yeah. When you got it, they're expensive too. So
They
it's like,
are like I said, the Jinjo one cost me the most, and that was like $50.
yeah, I've been wanting to get honestly the Jinjo plushies over the YouTube's figures. I
Nice,
do like the YouTube's figures like a little bit more, but the plushies are
nice. Where do you get those
cheaper.
at?
I think they're on the Rare store. Either
Really?
Rare store, they might be on Fan Gamer actually,
Okay.
if you know what that is.
I don't think I know. I heard of that one.
But yeah, Fan Gamer has a lot of cool like banjo stuff on it, and
Oh, I'm gonna have to go
they
look.
they did like a collaboration with Rare, I think. So they're like officially licensed
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
I have a hat that I got from there somewhere.
Nice. I got for my birthday back in December. I got this really I might have put it in the Discord. This really large Mario Bros movie poster, and I put
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, I saw
Saw
that.
that?
Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Huge. Like I have the only place I could, it doesn't fit up in any of these like on this section all the way around because it's just too big. And I have this shelf here, so it doesn't work. But I'm probably gonna put it right above this, like right on this the same side, but on the steps where it goes upwards.
Yeah,
I'm
that would look
thinking of
cool.
getting another poster and make it look like a movie theater coming down, like big
Yeah,
movie
that would be
poster.
awesome.
So I might do that.
I
Yeah.
gotta okay, let me show you what I'm gonna hang up
Okay.
really quick here. Uh so I got this and I ordered it a long time ago, but it finally
Mhm.
came in and pretty cool. It's got your old pal on it, who I know has been on the show.
Oh, nice.
So this is actually just the poster,
Nice.
but it's signed by Grant Kirkhope. It is the
Nice.
Banjo-Kazooie rejiggied vinyl press. I went with for those who don't know, Grant Kirkhope, who has been on your show, is
Twice.
the composer for pretty much all the Bang and Rare games. Not all, I mean, a lot of them. Banjo
Yeah.
Kazooie for sure, and Donkey Kong 64. But I got it to look like the spring pad.
Nice. I got
That's
the
like
coast.
green.
I got that same spring pad coaster, and I got one of the flight disc.
Classic.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I think
got.
I saw those. They were really high quality too.
Yeah, they came out really good. Like, where did I get those at? On Etsy. I got those on Etsy. Etsy is literally like literally my addiction now because like anything I
It's
need.
dangerous.
It is very dangerous. I got this thing actually comes in handy. It wasn't that expensive and it really came in handy. I got a Mario hook and I hung it on my wall right by the steps and I put my car keys on it.
Can I tell you something? This is
Yes.
like so Grant Kirkhope wrote out like messages to fans and stuff like
Mhm.
on the posters he wrote different ones like "guh" and stuff
Right.
and things like that, and I was hoping I would get one of those variants that he did,
Uh-huh.
but I did get something cool with mine,
What'd you get?
and I think it was a mistake.
Uh-oh.
So I got this poster,
Uh-huh.
and then I got this poster. I got two.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm like, do I give this away? I'm thinking when I hit like 10,000 subscribers, I may give one away.
What are you at now?
5,000.
You know what you should do? When you hit 10,000, get a list of the pool and do it on the spin wheel. I guarantee you I'll win.
Yeah. Oh, that's bull crap. All right. For those who don't know, I did a buddy of mine. We do a little podcast called Remember 64. It's his podcast, and I just kind of join on and live vicariously. But I started co-hosting because anyone who asks me to talk about Nintendo 64, I'm just gonna come on and talk about Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So I just started showing up like every podcast. He's like, are you my co-host now? I'm like, I guess I am. So we did like a special live stream where we just played, I don't remember what we were playing. Maybe Mario Golf or something. I don't know. We were playing N64 online, and we did like a giveaway wheel where who we put their names, we put people's names in, and then they'd win a prize if the wheel landed on them. And how many times did you win?
I think you stopped me at 3.
There wasn't like only 2 people. Like there was at least, I would say there was probably like 15 people
At least
least.
15, 20 at least, yeah.
And you won like in a row several times. I'm like,
3 times in a row I won Yooka-Laylee the game for the Steam.
that's cool.
I won the magazine.
Oh yeah, a Nintendo Power
Nintendo Power
edition.
magazine and the Remember 64 sticker, which is on my vanity mirror in the corner. I love it.
Dope.
And there's something else I won. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, but and then you stopped me. You're like, you can't win anymore, Scotty. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I had to
sorry, but
take
that's
his
just not
name.
fair.
I had to take his name off the wheel because he won, but it was like in a row too. It was like,
Yeah, what it would be different if it was like maybe once an hour or once every like 30 minutes, maybe it popped up, but it was like 3 times in a row, and then the fourth time you're like, no, I can't give you this. I'm sorry, buddy, but I can't do it.
yeah, I was being as good of a sport because if that happens, I'm like, in my mind, you deserve to get that prize because what are the odds of that happening? And
Right.
it kept happening. And I don't know what that wheel, like, it never did that again. It never did that with anyone else. It only did that with you. So I just associate that
Yeah.
with like, wow, that was really lucky. And you can have all those prizes. But I had to cut you off because
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
I was
someone
perfectly
else
fine
needs
with
to
that. I
win.
was just losing it laughing, and then one of your mods in the Discord, I forget his name off the top of my head, the remote controller dude.
Oh, random computer,
Yes.
random flying computer.
Yes. Yeah,
Shout
that's
out.
it.
Shout
Yeah,
out
I
to a
can't
random
remember.
flying computer. Thanks for being a
Yes.
mod.
Yes, and he's a really cool kid. And he ended up messaging me, and he's like, "You won." And I'm like, "Did I really?" Because I was doing homework at the time. I'm like, "Did I
Yeah.
really?" He's like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Oh, I forgot the stream was happening. I had everything on Do Not Disturb. I just checked my phone and I saw you said I won, so I hopped on, and then I won again, and then I won again. I'm like, "Holy crap!" And then I won again, and you're like, "I'm gonna have to take your name off. I'm sorry, Scotty. I can't give you this one." I'm gonna have to spin again with your name off and then keep your name off. And I watched for a
So
little
wait,
bit.
you won a fourth time and I had to stop it, is what
Yes.
happened. I was thinking I stopped it after 3, but no, we hung in there. I
Yeah.
still was
I,
like,
I won a
okay.
fourth time, but you told me that you were gonna respin and take my name off because I couldn't win 4 times in a row because I was basically winning every prize at that point.
That point, it was we had like so many prizes and you won like a majority of them. I'm like, all right, like sorry, I gotta cut you off. But
Yeah.
they were pretty good prizes. We had a lot
It
of
was.
game keys,
Yeah.
like Steam game keys, which is cool. I think I gave away a copy of Diddy Kong Racing,
Okay.
and that was cool. I think we might have given away a copy of Perfect Dark too, all authentic N64. So it was just
Yeah.
kind of
Did
fun.
did you guys like purchase them yourselves, or did you just have sponsors that got them for you, or how did that work?
Oh no, we had them ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we weren't sponsored at all. I actually had a funny story how I acquired because I have Diddy Kong Racing. It's back
Mm-hmm.
there. You can't see it; it's a little fuzzy, but
Right.
um, I actually went out. I was just like doing Facebook Marketplace deals, just trying
Mm-hmm.
to get more N64 games,
Right.
and a dude had GoldenEye for like super cheap, and I moral of the story, I'm reacquiring my N64 collection
Right.
because like a fool back in the day, I sold it. So I've been like slowly reacquiring everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a really good deal. It was like $15 or something
Nice.
for GoldenEye. And I was like, all right, I'll take it. And I went and he's like, well, would you take the other games I have? And he was asking like, I don't know how much. He was asking like $80 for all of them or something. And I was like, well, I really only want GoldenEye,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being honest. And the other games were Diddy Kong Racing, which I already had, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And he's like, well, I'll give you all of them for like $40. He's like, I just really need the cash. And I was like, okay. so so I did it. So I had a second copy and I was like, I'm gonna give this away at some point.
Nice.
So I did.
I did that as well. I gave away everything except my Nintendo 64 console, Banjo-Kazooie, and Banjo-Tooie. And the all of them were when they were released. Like they were literally like the moment they were released. My dad got them for me because I was young, and
Mm-hmm.
and I've had them ever since. And then I had games like GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 6. Oh, and Super Mario 64. I still have that one. I didn't give that one away. But I had
Classic.
Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye. I had Space Station Silicon Valley. I had like all these games, and I gave them all away except for Banjo-Kazooie. The originals of Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Super Mario 64. And then I was going to play Banjo-Tooie the one time, like maybe when I would say my early 20s, just randomly going to play Banjo-Tooie, the original game, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I lost it. I'm like, son of a gun, where did it go? Like, I don't know where it is, and I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it for years, like for at least a year or two. So I ended up like maybe that same day, maybe the next day, I went on Amazon or whatever I went on, and I ended up buying Banjo-Tooie. So it wasn't the original.
Mm.
And then a year or two later, I found the original, and now
Yes.
I have both games over there in the desk.
Sounds like you might need to do a giveaway.
Where I don't know. I love them both.
Yeah,
Hey, if one breaks, I have the other because I'm telling you that one
that's true.
from the '90s is 2000 is really old.
Yeah.
It's 24 years old and it's still kicking, but it does freeze on occasion, so the other one works a little better.
Yeah.
But I just keeping it for, that nostalgia. I had this since the year of 2000, the
Oh
moment
yeah.
standing with my dad at it wasn't even GameStop, it was Electronics Boutique in the Schuylkill Mall at the time.
Oh,
And
EB
standing,
Games.
yes, just standing
Classic.
there, opening like it was. I don't remember the day it was, but if it was a school day, I promise you I skipped because we were standing there at like maybe 7 or 8 in the morning, until the store opened and the game was available to purchase, and I went in and I bought, the right on opening day.
Yes,
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
I yeah, unfortunately, I lost my entire collection. However, I had one thing that I didn't sell because I missed it, and it was my N64 transfer pack, which is
Oh,
totally useless to me.
right.
I mean, I guess it's not totally useless. I do have Pokemon Stadium, but it's like whatever.
Right.
But I still have that, and I will never sell it because it's in my mind. It's just that little like this is one of the original things I had. And the other thing was the place I sold my collection to, which was
Mm-hmm.
like it was only like a couple $100. It's probably
Mm-hmm.
worth way more than that because I had like Earthworm Jim 3D. I had like games that were worth lots of money, right? But when I went back to the store, I saw my specific copy of Spider-Man on the N64. And the reason I knew it was mine was because my little brother spilled milk all over my N64 collection. None of the games were damaged, they all worked, but I could see like the dried milk on the back of the cartridge. And I was like, this is mine. I need to buy it. I need to buy it back. And so I immediately just grabbed it and went and bought it. It was like 20 bucks or something, but I
Nice.
reacquired. So I still have my Spider-Man for N64.
Nice.
And ironically, it's the only N64 game I have that I still have the manual for.
Nice.
So I have that too, which is
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Me and my fiance, well, mostly he jokes about this. Because because Banjo-Kazooie came out in June 1998. He was born in June 1997. So we joke about how I was waiting in line to buy Banjo-Kazooie at EB Games opening day, like, with my dad, and
Yeah.
playing it, and basically skipping a week of school just to play it. And he was not even walking yet, basically, or he was walking, but not, he just started walking.
Yeah.
Like he was at least a year old. And
Perspective.
that was so funny. Like like I'm like, wow, our age gap is so crazy. Like he'll be 27 this year and I'll be 35.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a bit you're older than me too, but I got him beat, but
How
you
old are
got me
you?
beat. I'm 30.
Oh, okay.
So I'm right on the dot. I
Nice.
was like 5, I think, when I got Donkey Kong 64, but
Nice.
I wish I could have. I wish I could have been. I mean, I was alert. I was there. I
Yeah.
was when N64 was in the store. I went out and we got
Yeah.
stuff. I had moments that I remember with my dad going in and grabbing
Yeah.
games because he liked to. My dad was kind of a hoarder and a
Yeah.
collector of everything. So he liked that I liked collecting video games. So he would take me places and like buy stuff.
Yeah.
The only game he ever bought that he told me explicitly was mine, or like his was his,
Yeah.
was a Star Wars Rogue Squadron on GameCube. He got
Nice.
the second one and the third one, and both of them he said those are mine.
Uh-huh.
But I still played them all the time. It
Nice.
didn't make a difference.
As a kid, I was all, and even as an adult, but it definitely started as a kid. I was always fascinated with witches. So Gruntilda being the main antagonist was
Gotcha.
always, amazing and to see. And then I did the tier list video with you, and of course I had to dress up as Gruntilda.
Yeah, that was unexpected. It was pretty funny. I was like, nah, I was not ready for it. I was like, wait, what? It
Did
was
my
cool.
laugh and all, and then after we finished filming that, we ended up doing like a little cauldron, because I have the cauldron from
Yeah, a little promo thing.
yeah,
Did I
because
put that
I
in the
found this
intro? I
really
think I
good
put that in
makeup.
the intro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I found this really good witches makeup on Amazon for like $6 or something like that, for a pack, and one pack literally will cover my whole face and my neck and everything. So one pack is good for one full use of it for the day.
So for those who are listening and I guess watching, we did a Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie world ranking where we went through every level and ranked it on a scale. Was it S to F or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Just a normal ranking scale, but we ranked every single level from Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and he was completely dressed as Gruntilda, which
Yeah.
green makeup everywhere, witch hat, just
Dress.
everything. Yeah, there was even a cauldron at the beginning, and we did a fun little intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, and
Yeah.
it's probably the most thorough. We kind of joked about this episode of the podcast about nerding out and stuff, and him getting the extra time on the Zoom call because the tier list, which it was initially planned to only be like an hour,
Yeah.
hour and a half tops.
Yeah.
It ended up being like what, 3.5 hours
Three and
or
a half
something
hours. It was
of
it was
us
crazy. My
just
fiance
talking about Banjo
actually,
Kazooie levels.
yeah, my fiance had to go to work that night because he works the overnight shift, and I was taking him, and he said, if you didn't hang up, finish that call when you did, I was breaking in that room, and I was telling you, we gotta go. Because he works at from 11 to like 7:30 or something like that, and because and we didn't get done until like 11 at the dot, and I think we started at like what, 7
Yeah.
or 8,
You kept
something like
saying,
that.
I gotta go. So we gotta
Yeah, and then I got home, and I had to keep the makeup on. So I'm driving in my witch's dress, my witch's hat. Oh no, I think I took the hat off. The makeup all over me, and then I go and then the makeup is itching my neck, and I had to keep it on because we had to film the intro, because I didn't know if I needed to show my face or anything. So
yeah.
I dropped him off. After I dropped him off, I had to pull over into the parking lot at his job so I could itch my neck, because my neck was really itchy from the makeup, because I never wore it that long before, and it's very easy to come off. It's just soap and water, and it comes right off. And I pull over, and somebody is in the car next to me because I guess they're getting ready to go to work, and they look at me, and then they go. I'm like, well, they're probably thinking, well, that's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
A,
Classic.
a grown man with a no, I shaved. I didn't have all this scruffy hair, but because a witch doesn't have all the scruff, but they're like a grown
Some of them
man
might.
in green makeup and a dress.
That's so funny.
And
Oh, that's a great story.
that was so embarrassing. And then I got home, and we ended up doing it. I don't use the makeup on my hands or anything, because it's just because, mainly if I want to eat something or whatever, I don't want to eat the paint or whatever, the
Yeah.
makeup or whatever. So I bought these gloves that are pretty much the same, just a little lighter color of green, and it kind of works.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
were great.
but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours was crazy. I didn't expect it to
That's
be
so
that
funny.
long, like, and I know you didn't, but it just
No,
went on and on
we
and
had to
on.
be thorough. We
We
had to
had
be
to be
thorough.
thorough,
We started
and
talking. I think I even at one point said, okay, we've got to move on because we're sitting on this level way too long. Like
yeah,
we need to.
the weird thing is that we have a lot of the same viewpoints.
Yeah. Yeah, we did, which is actually good because There was a couple that I was like, you said something like you were worried it was controversial or you thought it was going to be totally different, and I was like, no, I agree with you. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
What
I'm
was
trying to
that
think of
one?
what it was.
Click Clock Wood. It might have been.
Click clack wood.
And then and I said that I did say that one of my that wait till you hear the one that's really gonna shock you about what is going into the top or whatever. I said there's two of them that are going in the top for Banjo-Kazooie or whatever, and there was two worlds left: Rusty Bucket Bay and Click Clock Wood. And you're like, please tell me it isn't Rusty Bucket Bay. I'm like, it's Rusty Bucket Bay. And you're like,
Yeah.
are you serious? I'm like, gotcha.
Yeah. That I would have argued pretty hard against.
Yeah, but Terrydactyland was actually we kind of had a little bit of a difference on that one at first. But then I did see your point on it because I always thought it was bare bones, but you made me realize that it isn't bare bones. And for those that I guess are watching this or listening to this or both, that are wondering if are thinking the same thing that I thought originally, that Terrydactyland is, really an empty space. What is your argument for that? Defend Terrydactyland.
Are you asking me right now to
Yeah,
defend
I'm
it?
asking you to defend
Okay.
Terrydactyland.
Oh man. I feel like all I do is defend Pterodactyland. I'm not gonna lie, like every single video that I've made about Tooie. So I have the analyzing everything about Tooie, and I had the defending Tooie, and people point to that level like religiously. They're like, the worlds are empty. I hate them. And then they point to Pterodactyland, and I'm like, okay, why is it empty? And they're like, big open space. I'm like, you turn into a giant T-Rex.
Yeah.
You got to run around. I was like, you can turn into a baby T-Rex and talk to the enemies. They plant all these little things around. You have places to explore. You have the lava pit. You have tons of enemy dinosaurs, different kinds of dinosaurs. You have cavemen. You have tons of nooks and crannies. You go inside of the mountain, and there's an entire like level based in that and mini games. You fly up to the top with the boss. Sure, it's traditionally maybe a little more empty as far as like it's more of an open space, but you need that for the Tyrannosaurus
Giant
Rex
T-Rex. Yeah.
transformation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And but even if you don't have the, even if you don't use that transformation, you're still it's got the main structure in the middle. It's got that click clock wood. You got to climb the mountain. You got to go around the side. You got to scale it. It's got little caves here and there that you go in. And I guess the only thing that I could see people's points, if anybody actually ever made this point to me, which they probably haven't, would be it doesn't have as many distinct landmarks to know where you are. Like
Yeah.
it could have had a couple more of that, but it does have some. But it's not empty. It's packed to the brim. It just it may feel like that because they kind of were accommodating this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex transformation. So
Right.
I really think like if you look at it from Humba's wigwam to the right, amazing level. If
Yeah.
you look at it from Humba's wigwam to the left, it could be a little empty. I could see
Yeah.
that. But I mean, generally speaking, no, it's not empty. And then the biggest thing I always point out, and people have to recognize this, okay? People hop on hate trains, they hop on bandwagons. Someone makes a video that's a retrospective about a game like Tui, and they say, oh, this world's empty. And then they make a few, decent points to their point. Everyone starts saying, oh, yeah, that world's empty. And I think I called it, it's a psychological term. It's like the illusory truth effect. And it's like someone said it, and then someone agreed, started saying it, and it just kind of spirals out from there. And everyone starts saying it. But
Yeah.
no, it's not that empty. Like, go back and play it.
If
I
you
was like,
want to
then you can
complain
argue with me.
about any world in Tui, let it be Grunty's Industries.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind Grunty's Industries, but usually that's where my playthrough stops to, and because I like to be a completionist. So
Yeah.
I don't want to skip it. So that's usually where my playthrough stops. And then if I do go back and play it, I'll like right away, I'll play that level. But if not, then I usually start from the beginning again. Because
You
that
know,
level's a drag.
it is. And there's a few things that I would bring up about that. So the first thing I just want to say, I actually do like that you have to go in an alternative way and you have to like summon the train to get into Grunty Industries. I think that's pretty cool.
When I first played that world, I don't even want to say how long it took me, but it was an embarrassing amount of time to figure out that you needed to hit a train switch on the other side of the area
Yeah,
just to get in.
but that's what I like about it. It's kind of you have to explore a little bit to get into it. It's not as straightforward as the other levels. I like that. I like the idea of it. I think where it really falls flat is the fact that you have multiple ways to get up multiple floors, but they don't connect the ways that you go. So if you take the elevator shaft up, or the whatever, the dumb waiter, if you take the dumb waiter, I guess the elevator shaft too, that's separate. If you take the elevator shaft or the dumb waiter, or you just navigate up there, you have 3 distinct areas on the same floor. So it is a nightmare trying to figure out where the heck you are, and especially to get those stupid batteries. And put those in a specific area. You have to know how to navigate it. You have to really memorize the layout, and it does offer a lot of challenge, which I think is most people's argument. They go, "Oh, I love that level because it makes me think. It makes me, kind of plan out things." It's not horrible. It's not something that would turn me off from the game at all by any means. But I just, when compared to a world previously like Hailfire Peaks, which in my mind is just peak Banjo, it's just so much fun. It slows down the pace quite a bit. But the other comment I would make about that is Banjo-Tooie offers a pretty big buffer for collectibles. You only need 70 jiggies to beat the game, and the game has 90. So that's an extra 20 jiggies that you don't have to collect just to beat the game. So you could probably skip most of Grunty Industries if you really wanted to. Just go in, beat Welder. He's arguably one of the better bosses in the game too. Go beat Welder, leave.
And one thing that always bothered me about Banjo-Tooie, wasn't the first one, wasn't the second one, wasn't even the third one. It was the 4th time I had to fight Canary Mary. Well, not fight, but race Canary Mary. And I figured out, I forget what it is off the top of my head, but you go really slow, but not slow enough. And then when you're at the end, you speed up and beat her.
Oh my gosh, I had to I gotta follow up with him on Discord, but I have shout out to Colin on my Discord. He was just reliving the Canary Mary race and he could not beat it. And he's like, I beat everything, the 100% this game. I need to beat Canary Mary. I'm struggling. I'm like, it's rubber banding. And I'm trying to explain to him like via Discord message how to beat Canary Mary. I'm like, you're right. All you have to do, you tap just enough to keep pace with her. She's going to be ahead of you. I think that's what most people don't understand. She's going to be ahead of you for most of that race. You strike at the end. After you come down the mountain, you're coming toward where Humba's Wigwam is, where the end of the race is. Then you tap furiously and you pass her so fast she can't respond. That's the trick, because she's just so, but she's a nightmare. She's a nightmare in looks, in sound, in gameplay. Like, she's the one thing that
Cheeto pages.
Yes. It's so funny. I ended my defending Tooie video. I'm like, there's one thing I can't defend. And then I just cut to Canary Mary. I'm like,
actually, when you said that, I go, amen, brother.
But it's specifically that last race too. Like, I don't think she's that bad until that last race.
Oh my god.
She goes from semi-challenging to just impossible. If you don't know the trick.
And I know oh my god, when Kazooie, like when she says, let me get the Cheeto pages, it's wedged between my, like, I don't want to know where it's wedged between, lady.
No thanks.
No thanks. I don't want to know, Canary Mary. Oh my god. But and when I was fighting her the 4th time, like when I was, before I had the job in Maryland, moved down here and all this years ago, before I even met my fiance, I was playing Banjo-Tooie on my N64, and I couldn't beat her. I was just getting so mad, and I'm like, you know what? I'm mad right now, but I'm gonna make this fun. I'm gonna make this funny. So I got my mom. I had my mom play. No, and she's not gonna do it, and she didn't do it. And then I had my dad do it. He didn't do it. Then I got my Aunt Luann to come down and do it, and she couldn't do it. And then I got my Aunt Leslie doing it. She's very competitive, and she's like pushing it and pushing it, pushing it. And then she ended up like saying, "I give up. I end up beating you so much." Oh, come on, that's no fair. I still have those videos because I recorded them doing this, and
That's
I
funny.
still have them. I still have the videos of them playing Banjo-Tooie.
That would be a really funny party game. It's like beat Canary Mary, win $100.
Yes.
And like to your friends that never play banjo, and then you'd be like, how do you beat it? Oh, you just press A.
Press A, rap as fast as you can, and I promise you, I'll give you $500 if you can beat her. Promise you that you're not giving them no $500.
Yeah. Oh man, unless somebody's smart enough to figure it out, which is the gamble, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they say, just kidding, 5.
Yeah, just kidding. I meant $5, not 500. You must have thought 100 because you were so excited about the money.
Yeah, you just weren't thinking.
You weren't thinking right.
Classic.
Oh my god. So I have to shift focus to this because this is something that I was excited about as a kid. When I was watching playing Banjo-Kazooie, 100%ed it. Got to the end, saw the pictures, stop and swap. But not just that, Banjo-Tooie is coming out. Make Banjo-Kazooie look like joke. Oh, that's so awesome. Banjo-Tooie came out a couple years later. You know, didn't 100% it because it can never get past that dastardly Canary Mary. You know where I'm going with this. You know, I beat Gruntilda. A lot harder than the first game, I think. But you know, if you use the cheat to not die, then you can beat her. That's usually what I do. But it was a lot. I thought that fight was a lot harder than the first one. But you beat her. They're playing kickball, and she's gonna come back for Banjo-Threeie. How I pronounced it was 3IE.
3IE. Oh, classic.
But we never got Banjo-Threeie.
No.
What happened to Banjo-Threeie? You're the professional Banjo-Kazooie super fan here. You make all this content. Do you ever think in our wildest dreams, and I'm not talking about Nuts and Bolts or Grunty's Revenge or Banjo Pilot, I'm talking about an authentic Nintendo 64-esque, obviously not on the Nintendo 64, but Nintendo 64-esque, back to the formula of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, Banjo-Threeie, Banjo-Threeie.
Depends what you mean by 64-esque. You just mean like a platformer collectathon style?
Just like the regular games where you get like so many worlds, you collect Jiggies, maybe Cheeto pages, you know, notes, all that fun stuff, and you go to the end and you fight Gruntilda.
Yes, I do. I do think we're gonna get it, and here's why.
Okay.
I have had, it's been that pipe dream for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's grown in sentiment, especially recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really has. I've been seeing a lot more vocalization about wanting it. I've been seeing Phil Spencer from Microsoft is acknowledging Banjo fans, we hear you. And there's been lots of rumors from credible leakers that have been saying there is some sort of Banjo project that has been in the works. Now, whether that's a 3IE or not,
right.
I really think I think it is though. I think it is. I think they hear what we want, and it's not Nuts and Bolts. It's not Banjo Pilot.
They heard what we thought of Nuts and Bolts, and they know what we think of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. And of course, Grant Kirkhope. Don't forget, pigs fly when pigs fly. And we saw that image of pigs flying.
I made a video on that. He is such a troll. Right? And I'm willing to bet that this Banjo, I'm willing to bet that there's a Banjo project. I'm willing to bet that it's in very early stages, and that maybe he has been contacted, but he's not really like involved yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet he will be, because it just, he's the man. Just go to him for the music, because that's the way it needs to be. I will say though, however, Nuts and Bolts is the first time he collaborated with Robin Beanland and David Kleinig, also of rare fame. They came in. Robin did Conker's Bad Fur Day famously, and David did Perfect Dark.
Okay.
So they both came in and helped him because he was doing Viva Pinata at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of work to do that. And Nuts and Bolts soundtrack is actually pretty great.
Nice. Yeah.
So very good callbacks to Banjo-Tooie and Banjo-Kazooie in Nuts and Bolts with like a live orchestra. Like it's got a live orchestration. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
So there's potential that, they could mix and match a little bit like that, but he has to be overseeing it. I really think he does.
Yeah, Grant Kirkhope has to do the music. If Grant Kirkhope doesn't do the music, I'm gonna be very fearful of the music soundtrack because Grant Kirkhope he is Banjo-Kazooie in my mind.
It's just
Like
special.
it's just
Special.
special. It's just
Yeah.
special. Like that, I have the Grunty's Lair theme as my ringtone. I
Yeah.
bought it for like $3 or whatever on the Apple Store or something.
So my opinions on that, if somebody comes in and like it's somebody different and they're going to be doing the soundtrack, he either has to be heavily involved or they have to do a really good job because they have big shoes to fill.
Oh yeah,
And the soundtrack in Banjo is arguably one of the most important things because it's the only game soundtrack, excuse me, that I have on vinyl. Like
yeah,
it's that good. And there are
yeah,
other rare games that also have phenomenal music. Um Donkey Kong 64, which is also by Grant Kirkhope, phenomenal
yeah.
music. Diddy Kong Racing,
He did great
uh
on GoldenEye.
he did great on GoldenEye. He also did the GoldenEye.
Yeah,
He did not do Diddy Kong Racing, not to I'm trying to think who did that. Who did Diddy Kong Racing?
I don't
It
know.
wasn't Stamper or not Stamper. David Weiss, was it?
It might have been. It might have been. I'm not sure.
Someone over at Rare. They
Yeah,
a lot of the Rare composers have teamed up now, and they're very good.
yeah,
But yeah, I like Donkey Kong Country's David Weiss. So there's a lot of good stuff going on over there. But I'm just saying, like, there's something to be said about the games Kirkhope worked on versus the others because
hmm
uh, pretty much any game that Grant Kirkhope has done the music for has been a game that people listen to the music outside of the game.
yeah.
The He was just talking about the other day about the pause music in GoldenEye being used at like a baseball game or something that he was at. He's like, it's
Nice.
even here. Like it's just
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
and also, uh, 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 of course, you need the great music. That's one thing that needs to be great, and in order to do that, you either need Grant Kirkhope to do it, or you need him to supervise whoever is doing it and really be heavily involved, like you
Right.
said. Another thing that needs to be good is I wanted to go back to, I'm not saying graphic wise, but I'm saying look wise. We need a good looking cast of characters. We don't need Box Banjo from Nuts and Bolts. We need Nintendo 64-esque, as I say, because obviously you're not going back to Nintendo 64 design and graphics and
Yeah.
all that. But you need Nintendo 64-esque look and feel. Like if you want people to actually take Banjo-Threeie seriously or the next Banjo game seriously and differentiate it from the hate that Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts has, then you need to make it different with, the music was good in Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, don't get me wrong, but the look and feel and appeal of the characters wasn't good at all. I mean, I don't want to see a gardening, overall mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. I
I don't want
think
to see a box Banjo Kazooie.
whenever you watch my Nuts and Bolts video, you gotta get back to me because I went
Yeah.
through all the character models
Yeah.
and I had mixed feelings. Some I thought translated pretty well to this style because the differences were negligible, I guess.
Right.
Like Grunty is actually one that I thought translated fairly well.
I do like Grunty's look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Mumbo actually translated pretty well. They just put him in denim overalls.
right. It was
So
really weird. The only thing I don't like about Grunty, like I like her look, and I loved her in Banjo-Tooie as well. But like I said, I have this fascination with witches, and the fact that she's not the green, rhyming witches she was. Now I understand she was underground for 2 years, which makes sense. But she's magical. I think she could have magically given her glow back. But
you know what's
yeah,
interesting too?
yeah.
Like in in Nuts and Bolts. So have you played it? Have you played through it? Or some of it
I
at least?
I started it, and when I got into cars, I'm like, okay, I can't. This isn't what I'm
Yeah.
used to. It
I,
wasn't
I
wasn't my cup of tea.
watch my video. I challenge you to go back because it does get better. It's like you
Yeah.
got to get past that whole like, oh, this is
But
ruined for me.
but
But
reading the Banjo Land stuff, like when I read on the Banjo Kazooie wiki and all that stuff, like reading about Banjo Land, that sounds really damn cool. A lot of throwback
yeah,
Like that, I really like that idea. Like basically in a Banjo-Threeie, I would love to see a Banjo Land world, actual world in an actual Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie type of game of Banjo-Threeie, and seeing Banjo Land as an actual world, like where they do throwbacks to the first two games, having various characters show up and all that stuff. And of course in Banjo-Threeie, you also need to have back Gobi. You need to have, and when you have back Gobi, you got to get rid of his water again. Like you just gotta.
Yeah,
It's fun. You
he was
need,
already old and Tooie. I wonder how.
yeah,
You know what would be funny?
but
He's a skeleton camel, and he's like trying to get the water, but it falls through, and he goes,
oh, that'd be
"No."
great. That'd be so great. That'd be so great. And we also need in Banjo-Threeie, we need to tie some loose ends. Where was Tootie in Tooie, and where was Brentilda in Tooie?
Yeah, Tootie needs to come back. So some threads they connected in nuts and bolts to the other games, which I thought was cool. Some were unnecessary, but like Klungo becomes a game designer, which is really funny because he
Yeah,
says he's going to do that in the end of Tooie. He's like,
yeah.
I'm going to become a game designer because I don't want to do this anymore. And then he's actually a game designer in nuts and bolts and makes a
That's
little
awesome.
game called Klungo Saves the World. So they
That's awesome.
thought a lot about those little plot threads, and I think some of
Yeah,
that should make a return.
yeah,
It just wasn't executed exactly how it should have been.
yeah.
It really should have been. My sentiment was it should have been a. Everyone says it should be a spinoff, but I go a step further than that. Yes, it should have been a spinoff, but I think it should have been a Mumbo centric spinoff because you have Banjo Kazooie, you are giving them a magic wrench to create vehicles. I'm like, Mumbo already has a magic wand. Like he's already
Mm-hmm.
there. He's the mechanic in the place. He
Mm-hmm.
focuses on using his magic to bring things to life, to transform things. Like he would have been the perfect thing. Like you just adjusted a little
Mm-hmm.
bit from a techie thing to a mechanical or
Yeah.
to a magical thing, and he could have made vehicles, and it we would have had Tears of the Kingdom is what we would have had, but
Yeah.
Banjo
Yeah.
or Mumbo.
I honestly, I know Grant Kirkhope mentioned this. Like, if you throw a pitch to Steve Mails and you show that you would really get it up and running, he might give like I don't even know if Steve even has the rights anymore, but he said you could get that game, up and running. But I think having a Banjo-Threeie game, not programmed and created by people working and getting paid to make a game, but people that are passionate about the franchise, like people that played the first two games, know what is makes them so special.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and you, if we got the rights to make these games,
Yeah,
that game would be so amazing.
yeah, we get all the elements right,
Yeah,
which is
like yeah,
it's something to be said. I think so the thing about that specific situation, what comes to mind actually before Banjo is Sonic
yeah,
and how almost tone deaf the devs become at a certain point
yeah,
to what the fans want. And it's not for lack of they don't want to please the fans, but it's almost like they get bored of doing the same thing, so they feel they need to spice it up.
yeah,
When all the fans are saying, "Please don't do that. We just want more."
yeah,
We want more. We want slightly updated, but
yeah,
more. And I think what would really help the Banjo series is if they did Crash Insane Trilogy style remakes of Banjo
yeah.
Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, sell it as a double pack. I like the name Banjo Redooey. I've heard that on Twitter
Oh,
quite a
that's
bit.
actually pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I like that name. So Banjo Redooey, and then give us a full-fledged Banjo-Threeie. I'm gonna shout out another YouTube channel. It's oh my gosh, I'm blanking on their full name. It's Project Dream. I don't know if it's Project Dream something, Project Dream, like
Mhm.
what Banjo Kazooie was
Yeah,
originally.
yeah.
And they do like these massive remade worlds of Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie.
Oh, I know what
And
you're talking about. I've
yeah,
seen their work. Yes.
yeah, they've commented on some of my videos. It's pretty cool. We're
Yeah.
becoming closer, so I kind of want to see if there's room for something to do there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But they did a concept for Banjo-Threeie as like one of their when they finished the worlds for Kazooie and Tooie. They're going back and they're doing some more things now.
Uh-huh.
They didn't stop, but when they went through all the worlds, they were like, here's a concept for Banjo-Threeie and showed a bunch of like hypothetical worlds that they conceptualized. pretty cool actually. Like
Yeah.
it looked pretty cool. One of them was like a hot air balloon with banjo, and I was like, that's kind of a neat idea.
Nice.
So we'll see. But I will say, though we do not have Banjo-Threeie, technically, we do have people like Kirkle Mods making some pretty
Yeah.
dope Banjo-Kazooie mods for that can play on actual N64 hardware.
Nice.
Jiggies of Time is excellent.
How do
I
you
don't
play that? Where do you do it on like Steam?
know. So it's you have to have an emulator or
Okay.
an EverDrive, which I have an EverDrive. So you have a copy
I have
of
Project 64.
yeah, that would work. So
Okay.
you basically you have to have a ROM of Banjo-Kazooie, and then you get the patch. His website would walk you through how to install
Okay.
it and what to do. It's not very complicated, but
Okay.
it's basically you patch the ROM and create a new ROM, and then you can load that up in your emulation device, and it will run on N64 hardware. So all of these
Nice.
mods run on N64 hardware.
Nice.
Pretty cool stuff, and you can play some Jiggies of Time is essentially Banjo getting thrown into Ocarina of Time and playing through those worlds. The plot is not Ocarina of Time, though. It's not Banjo in Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Banjo transforming Ocarina of Time into a Banjo game.
Okay.
So it's way more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
There's little Easter eggs everywhere. He puts like game cartridges places. Like you can climb the Deku tree as Banjo and like climb up on the
Yeah.
vines and like jump around. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It does such a great job.
Yeah.
It's almost mind-blowing, and there's even unique transformations
Nice.
you
That's
can change into
awesome.
different things, and it's super cool, super in-depth. And he has a
That's
bunch of
awesome.
those like that. I played the night bear before Christmas, which is a nightmare before Christmas mod where you go through,
Nice.
and yeah, and it's nightmare before Christmas, but it's Banjo and you've
That's
got to
awesome.
face Gruntilda. uh yeah, I'm trying to think of what else he has so many. I did another Christmas one at Christmas time. I did it, so it was
Nice.
pretty fun. It was like Santa's workshop or something.
Yeah, like I said, you do need to do a video though on the history of Gruntilda, like in her past, like before we got to know what she, who she was. And then I was even thinking maybe a Where Are They Now series of characters like like kind of like where is Brentilda been since Banjo-Kazooie? Where is Tootie been since Banjo-Kazooie? Where is Gobi at now after the events of Banjo-Tooie?
It does, yeah, it does make you wonder. Tootie, especially. I think Tootie, Brentilda. I'm kind of like, why did the other sisters show up and never
That were never
mention
mentioned.
her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she never mentioned them. They never mentioned her. But now
Uh-huh.
there's four sisters. There's some Wizard of Oz thing going on here, right? What happens in Wizard of Oz? Did Brentilda get a house dropped on her? Like, is she
we
the
know we
one?
know the other two end up getting a what was it, a 2-ton anvil dropped on them.
Oh, good point. And Gruntilda got a boulder dropped on her. So
Yeah. So
I
and
don't.
then Bertilda got the house. There you go. Mission
Yeah, I'd
solved.
have to do a lot of research and see if there's anything like there's got to be a Nintendo Power somewhere saying something weird that I can
Yeah.
find and exploit and just push. I might even like try reaching out to game devs and stuff
Yeah.
because they might
That,
they might
that
have
would
some
be a
little
good
tidbit
series
of
though.
information. That would
Yeah,
be
that would be a
really
good
funny.
series, like a Where Are They Now? And like make it like, like for example, where is Boggy? Is he still sitting in front of his flat screen TV? Or
Neglecting his family.
neglecting his family, and Mrs. Boggy's still watching the kids. Well, the kids are probably adults at this point. Do they
Yeah.
have kids of their own? Are they grand polar bears?
Probably. Probably.
So I mean, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. But I definitely would love to see the backstory of Gruntilda. That's actually a very cool idea.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting video. I think
I
I
don't I don't
yeah.
think there's ever been one on YouTube about that.
There's not a lot of there's not a lot of content related to Banjo that's not just like a retrospective
Yeah.
or a long play or a let's play.
Yeah.
Which is why I think my content is unique. But it's also
Yeah.
like when I search for Banjo stuff, that's the kind of stuff I look for. I look for the weird stuff because I love let's shout him out. I love Game Theory. I love Matt Pat, who
Mm-hmm.
just retired. He's officially done. As of
Mm-hmm.
this recording, he is done. But I loved watching his videos, and he covered games that I normally probably wouldn't have known about,
Right.
which says something. And they were always interesting. He always had interesting theories. I mean, he pretty much Five Nights at Freddy's made his channel really take off. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he also helped Five Nights at Freddy's be bigger than it needed to be.
Right. Yeah.
So let's do that with Banjo
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
me.
And what really makes me mad is there's not even a lot of Gruntilda stuff. Why isn't there YouTubes of Gruntilda? Why doesn't she have a figurine?
I bet that's coming. I bet that's coming. Because I've been following the YouTube since Banjo first released.
Okay.
And Banjo released, then 2D released, and then Bottles released as a limited edition. And then it was like months later, like maybe even a year later, then Mumbo released.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved on to Conquer and stuff. And then the Jinjos came, and now Rayman finally got in. But I bet you'll see more, because I'm personally waiting for a Klungo, because I think a Klungo would be really cool.
Yeah. They need to bring back Bottles, not limited edition. Like he needs to be bought like the others because he's a main character. Let's be real. Like
They should bring in another variant of Bottles, because
yes.
I don't want I want mine to be special.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Just make
Good
them
point.
do the what they should do is the dead body with the angel bottles above it.
That's actually not a bad. That's
That
actually
would
a good
be
idea.
that would be cool.
It's actually not a
Uh
bad idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they could do there's so many characters they could do.
They could do
I
Humbawamba, Gobi, Boggy, Jam Jars,
It'd be cool to
Grantilda.
see a banjo
Grantilda.
holding Kazooie like a gun, but
Yeah.
also have Dragon Kazooie would be cool with maybe fire
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see the transformations.
Yeah. You know
Those would
what?
be cool.
They should do all of the bosses as like a set for a limited edition, like all the bosses in Tooie.
Oh man, Mr.
As a
Patch.
yeah,
He'd sell
every
out
single
fast.
boss in Tooie as a set for maybe $150. That'd
I'd
be a
do that.
steal. I do it
Yeah,
too. That's like what, like 9 bosses? Because there's
something
2
like
in
that.
Hailfire Peaks. So yeah, about 9 bosses. And you know what? I'll make it 200. I'll buy it if you throw in Klungo in there. All 3 forms. Not bruised, slightly bruised, fully bruised.
I, I thought you were gonna say like invisible, giant, and what's the other? Oh,
Multiple.
multiple.
Cloning, yeah.
You could have like 2 like heads coming out, and he's like, actually, that'd be cool too. Cheeto,
Yeah,
that would be
Cheeto, he
cool.
would need one. That would be cool.
The
Yeah.
goldfish would be cool.
Yeah, Roy, what's his name? Royston? I
I can't remember his
think
name,
it's Royston.
but that would
Yeah,
be
that'd be
cool.
really cool too.
The
Yeah,
hag
oh
one.
my God. But the next one they need to come out with is either another Bottles or a Gruntilda, because Gruntilda doesn't get any love.
Gruntilda's gonna come.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Another thing that has great figurines is the first 4 figures. First 4 figures.
Okay.
Have you seen those? They're big, they're giant.
I think so, because I think they have a Gruntilda and it's like 500
They
bucks or
do.
something.
Yeah, and it lights up.
Oh shit.
It lights up. It's really cool. They have a really cool Mumbo
Do
one
you have
too.
it?
No, I don't have it. I actually I'm not I want to get those, but that's kind of a if money were no object sort of a thing,
Yeah.
right? Because they are very pricey. They are minimum
Yeah.
like $500. You
Yeah.
can't even get some of the banjo ones anymore new. Like you have to buy them used.
Wow.
The one I really want is not banjo. It's actually Conquer, and it is the Great Mighty Pooh, and it's giant. It's like huge. It's Great
Right.
Mighty Pooh, and it has Conquer throwing toilet paper in his mouth.
Nice.
And I'm like, that is just the best. But they did do a bunch of banjo transformations too. So you can have Mumbo transforming with the staff, and then you can swap out the transformation.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they're giant. They're just giant. They're like the Mumbo one's probably a foot and a half, maybe
Right.
tall.
And the funny thing is, like when you showed me the Great Mighty Pooh, when you showed all of us the Great Mighty Pooh figure, I'm like, that doesn't surprise me with your Jiggylookback intro.
Yeah, it's very so I haven't done the poop in a or the farts in a while.
Oh,
In a
really?
minute. Yeah, since I've been putting out the new videos.
I haven't noticed that. I remember them in the Banjo-Kazooie. By the way, your Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie full retrospective, those are literally probably my favorite Banjo-Kazooie videos all on YouTube. Like they are really
Well,
well
thank
done.
you.
And I love, first of all, I love your voice. Like you have a really good voiceover voice. And I love when you go like, into the world we go. Like so awesome.
Okay, that has been brought up before. I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't realize I was doing that. I was doing that like into the level we go, right? And then someone pointed it out in the comments, and then I was like, well, maybe I should make that a thing. But I kind of started getting away from that with my retrospectives. I will say that I brought it back for nuts and bolts.
Oh my
So
God.
I
Oh
am
my
doing
God.
it.
I love it.
I'm doing it again because it was backed by popular demand, which is so funny because it's just a
Right.
quirky thing I did.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice. Going a
that's
little
funny.
bit off of Banjo-Kazooie topic, just for at least for a moment. I wanted to know, did you never played Banjo? I mean, yeah. Oh my God, I just said we're getting off, and I'm already going on it. You never played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, right?
No, I haven't. I have
Okay.
not.
I expect, and I will give you a laundry list of videos that I would love to watching. Looking for videos on Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is hard. I
Okay.
don't know why it's so hard. There is one guy, Cloud Connection. Do you ever hear Cloud Connection?
Yep, I know Cloud Connection. Yep.
Yes, he has a really good Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door retrospective that I like, and I watched it a couple of times. That's because there's not much Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door out there, and if anything,
Yeah.
most of it is Paper Mario like the Origami King. Now there is at least one YouTuber that does like a bunch of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and all of his content is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. It's Cappy. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I was
He
gonna
does
say
all different challenges.
Cloud Connection also retired.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
He has a new channel though,
yeah.
so he's just doing something different, and I'm not sure what that
Okay.
is, but
All right.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
He's
So
one.
yeah.
He's one
But,
that's he's very thorough,
mhm.
which I do appreciate. But he's not for the faint of heart because he's like his retrospectives are like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
which my original ones are pretty long, but now I don't do nearly that long. Now I'd say
Right.
I'm probably in the pocket of like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because an hour long is just kind of crazy
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, that's the
But
thing, because when I was doing like my videos, and if they were like an hour-ish long, that's an hour long post editing.
yeah,
That means you're filming long, at least an hour, maybe longer, because you're editing things down. So, and then you got to get the music right for all the sections that you're in. You got to
yeah,
you got to do whatever the voiceover, whatever you're doing. So it really does take a toll. And if you're doing this for the love of the hobby and not for the monetary or the fame, then and you're doing it for the passion that you love, you don't want to make it a job. You want to keep it a hobby. You want to,
hmm
and if you make money at it or you grow a fan base out of it, then that's just cherry. That's just gravy. You got that bonus. But doing it for the love of it is you don't want to do it where it wears you out and it becomes a job and it doesn't become fun.
yeah. That's a good point. So my Donkey Kong video, the defending Donkey Kong 64
Mhm.
specifically, was my first long form video that really took
Mhm.
off. And it's I don't know, 30 something thousand right now. It's only been out for a couple weeks.
Oh
And
wow.
since then, I've already put out Defending Banjo-Tooie, a Nuts and Bolts retrospective, a Conker's Bad Fur Day / 12 Tales theory
Mhm.
video, a live stream. Like I've been really like working hard to keep that momentum going and pushing
Yeah.
it out. And
Yeah.
it is a lot of work, like you said. I
Mhm.
I would say my last Saturday, so Friday night, I worked on the nuts and bolts retrospective. That's not including having to play the game throughout the week and like beat the
Right.
game, which is like a 20 to 30 hour game.
Yeah.
So I did that, recorded all of it,
Wow.
wrote a script, chugged out probably 3 or 4 hours Friday night after a live stream that I played Mario Kart for like, I played Mario Kart way longer than I should have. I played Mario Kart. It was like I did a live stream and it just had so like lots of happy people popping in wanting to play Mario Kart. I'm like, well, you're popping in. I'm gonna play a few rounds with you, and it just kept happening. So I ended up playing like 5 hours of Mario Kart.
Wow.
But it
Yeah,
was
I
a really
saw
fun
I
stream.
saw you were doing that live stream, and I wish I could have joined, but I was working. I was knee deep in a midterm project.
Oh, don't worry. I shouldn't have been doing it. Well, I shouldn't have been doing it that long. I did that. I edited for probably like 3 or 4 hours that day, and then my entire Saturday from like 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. was me editing the nuts and bolts video.
Mhm.
I mean, that's how long it takes. Because
Wow.
I'm, even though mine are 15-ish minutes, 20-ish minutes,
Yeah,
I do a lot of like animations and stuff,
yeah,
right? So I do like, yeah, I got to find the clip of me doing specifically what I'm talking about. And then I lay out music, I lay out my voiceover, I add a bunch of animations and graphics and things over the top. And
yeah,
sometimes I go back and I go, that's not funny enough. I need to do something stupid, or
yeah,
and then I add a sound effect or I don't know,
yeah. I remember
redo the
doing the
voiceover.
Gruntilda sound effect. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is cool.
It was really fun. And the way you do it, you make it just like the game. Like, Banjo talking here, it's your voiceover and you add your own
Yeah,
text. It's a lot of
yeah.
fun.
It's funny because every time I do it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that again,
Yeah.
right? And every time I'm like, why didn't I save the native files for that? I have to remake it because I'm like, I do it again. I've done it probably 3 times at this point.
Nice.
I did put it in the defending Tui video. I did not put it in the nuts and bolts video. So
Okay. Yep. And it was in the tier list and all that.
yep,
And you might have had it in the retrospective of either Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie. It was one of them. I think you put it in. I think
Tui. Tui
Tooie it might
was
have been.
yeah, Tui was the first time I did it. And
Yeah.
fun fact, there's actually I'm not sure which one. I think it's a Mumbo one. I recreated all the voices
Mm-hmm.
as best I could. Like now I just pull the ripped files from Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie or
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm pulling the sound effects from, but I actually
Right.
like in the Tooie one I actually recreated the voices and tried to
Right.
mimic them as close as I could, and I was like
Nice.
just adjusting my voice, and then I went in and like was pitch adjusting it, and I had them side by side and I was trying to get them as close as I could. Like that's
Nice.
how much effort I put into these
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and going back also, sorry to go backwards,
No, you're
but
good.
with the Gruntilda, like if you did a video on the backstory of Gruntilda, you would have to go into that, like how does she become the owner of Man Monster Mansion, like making that her house? How does she go into becoming an amusement park owner? And
Mm-hmm.
how does she go into having a factory?
Good. Yeah, she's a lot of different things.
Yeah, she's a factory owner. She's an amusement park connoisseur, and she's a
Yeah,
she's a mansion property owner
and a fortune teller.
and a fortune teller. Madame Grunty, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she
a
works at
lot
her
of
own
yeah,
at her own carnival.
yeah. She that's freaking
I
awesome.
like to think that Grunty Industries is her main source of income, though.
Yeah,
Like that's where she gets all her income. But what do they make at Grunty Industries?
I was just gonna say, you know what what Grunty's Industries probably does? They
Hmm.
probably are the reason why the baddies escaped the world in Banjo Kazooie and all that. She says she goes, oh, something I forget the rhyme off the top of my head, but she's like, and then baddies escape once more.
Oh,
Maybe the baddies
interesting.
escape, and she creates these baddies in the industry.
I feel like there is a connection to nuts and bolts that I want to make here because there's these thing
Okay.
called grunt bots,
Okay.
which we don't know for sure if they're made from Log, who's the like main. He's the Lord of the Games. I don't know. He's not the main antagonist, but he's an antagonist, I guess, a
Right.
friendly antagonist. I don't know how to describe him.
He's a
He's a
tweener.
facilitator. He's a facilitator of the
There you
games
go.
that you have to participate in. He could have made these grunt bots, but I also feel like they're very grunty industries like,
Hmm.
and she makes a lot of weird, like if you think about it, she has a connection to a lot of mechanical stuff. If you think about it too, like nuts and bolts really makes sense for Banjo because Banjo's a gearhead.
Yeah.
He is obsessed with vehicles. He did Diddy Kong Racing,
Yeah.
car, plane, hovercraft. He did Banjo Pilot, where he's
Yeah.
just planes by himself.
Mhm.
He and then he goes to Nuts and Bolts, where he's making his own vehicles, planes, cars, hovercrafts.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
he's kind
point.
of a gearhead. He likes that.
Yeah. So maybe like I don't know, like do you think that she kind of made I don't know. I'm trying to think of what Grunty Industry maybe that could be a whole video in and of itself. What is Grunty Industries? What do they produce? What do they what is it when was it founded? Like what did it do? Like what do they do here? What do they make? What are they about? Are they a completely evil corporation, or are they do they create these villains? Did they
Well,
create the worlds, the note doors, the spells, the magic?
oh, I like that. I like the connecting to Banjo-Kazooie in some way, like
Yeah.
some sort of. So you gotta think like Rusty Bucket Bay. What
Yeah.
are they doing there?
Oh, that's right. She's a ship owner as well.
Yeah, and like what are they doing? What
Yeah.
are they transporting? What are they doing? Grunt.
Right.
It's got to be connected to Grunty Industries somehow.
Yeah. There you go.
And yeah, the rabbit hole continues. And speaking of rabbits, those are the workers at Grunty Industries.
There
So
you go.
although you do have, they're the friendly workers. There's friendly workers, and then there's
The
like
guy that
the
has his jaw that drops all the way to the floor.
yeah.
Oh.
Man, just punch those guys.
Right.
The pigs
And
with the
yeah, and then you have
wrenches.
like the security cameras and those bots that electrocute you and everything. And of
Hmm.
course, Weldar. Where does Weldar fit into this? Is he your
Yeah,
pet torch, pet flame torch thingy?
yeah. Well, you got to figure he's doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe they're building. Hmm. I don't know. I'd have to really look into it.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad video. How does like what is Grunty Industries, and does it connect to Rusty Bucket Bay and the ship that's there?
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually not a bad
Hmm.
idea.
Hmm.
That would be a lot of research, but and I wonder if there's even research out there like that.
Does Grunty Industries build the Bob, the big
Oh,
laser?
there you go. Possibly. Did they build the Hag One?
Right. Probably.
Yeah. Oh wow. And
She's got
that
some technology.
yeah. She's got some technology and she's got some magic. And then of course there's always that, and then there's the broomstick, like you know, this broomstick has eyes and everything, and then there's Dingpot. Why was she so mad at Dingpot that she threw up in him?
Yeah.
And he betrayed her. There's just so many things that just little things that you can probably make a short video on.
Oh man, it's never ending. There's
It's never
always new
ending.
ideas.
It's never ending.
I had a friend ask me, he's like, it would scare me to be a YouTuber full time. And I was like, why? I was like, that's the dream. And he's like, yeah, but you have to be very creative and think all the time of new things. I'm like, it always comes.
Yeah.
Like, I never think about it. It always just naturally comes.
Yep.
Conversations, playing the games themselves, like you always think of something.
Yeah.
At least I
Yep.
do. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but
Yeah, I've always, like you said earlier, I want to make the content that I would like to see on YouTube, and I was working on it, but then of course grad school got in the way. But I was working on a ranking of all the bosses in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
there you go.
I can't find one, and then I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I don't do a ranking, maybe a tier list.
There you go.
There's none of that around. But the only one that really makes content on this game is Cappy, I think his name is. But he does like actual playthroughs of the game and does different challenges. So basically he'll do like different speed challenges, or like no items throughout the whole game, or only use Mario, none of his partners throughout the whole game, or only use his partners and don't use Mario the whole game.
Yeah, that's funny. Do you
Yeah,
do you watch a lot of stuff like that? Because I
I
don't I
do.
don't I don't particularly gravitate to, I guess, challenge videos where they're just
I'm
playing the
more of
game.
a list video or a
Yeah,
retrospective video.
yeah, I like more substance. I feel like
Yeah.
that's more like something I would do for a live stream,
Yeah.
like something like that, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that
Yeah.
my particular style, I'm just like, if I was going to do a challenge or something like that, it wouldn't be a video for me. It'd be a live stream, which I
Yeah.
totally classify in a different different
The only
thing.
thing if I go into watching is because there's no other content on there like that, and I would only watch it because. But the only thing is, like, I know the ending. He already completed it, so he uploaded it, so I know the challenge was a success.
What if the challenge wasn't a success though? It could.
Well,
You never know.
you never know, but I think he plays it multiple times till it is a success.
Oh, okay.
As you can see
I
the
would
edit
play it
marks in
once,
it.
be done.
Yeah. You
Did
can
it
see
or it
the edit
didn't.
marks in it. That's why I think a live stream would be good, like you said, because then it's like, oh, now we get to see, will he pass or will he fail?
Yeah, I think it's a little more interesting.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm more of a retrospective guy. I'm a very big list person. I've been a list person since elementary school. I love list related content. I love things that are like rankings or countdowns or top tens. Like one of my favorite YouTube channels outside of Jiggylookback, of course, is is Cultaholic Wrestling.
Okay.
And they do a lot of list videos. They do top tens, they do rankings, and every day they have a new different type of top 10, like the top 10 managers or the top 10 I don't know, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like they have like the top 10 of something you would never even think of in your wildest dreams that would have a top 10 list. And it's
Yeah.
there, like top 10 matches that ended in DQ, or the top 10 special guest referee matches in WWE history.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of like Watch Mojo. That's what
right.
I'm kind of thinking of, like Watch Mojo,
Yeah.
like, welcome to Watch Mojo. This is the top 10 most emotional Spider-Man moments from Spider-Man 3. It's like something like
Very
that.
specific.
Yeah, exactly. But you kind of have to be specific. That's what
Yeah.
YouTube is. It's finding a niche and just
Yeah.
embracing the weird.
Right.
Because I the highest compliment I've ever received was on my mapping the rare universe video, which by the way is that is the most in-depth editing writing I have ever done. Is it perfect? I say flat out no, but there's so many games that I covered in this video. It's just it's almost impossible. Like
Can I ask you a question about that?
yeah.
How the hell do you put James Bond in with Banjo-Kazooie? Like, the two are literally like water and vinegar, or what is it? Like oil and vinegar, whatever.
Yeah,
And
oil and water.
oil and water, there you go. It's like I've mixed them up, but it's like oil and water, and you literally make them work.
Well, that's the beauty of timelines, and it there's been so many comments on that, and like most people are like, thank you, this is incredible.
Yeah.
There's a couple that offer their own ideas, and some of them I question is like, did you watch the whole video
Right.
before they comment? Like someone said, like, where's
Yeah.
Blastcore? I was like, I literally talk about Blastcore at the end. I'm like, you just gotta watch the whole video. But some bring out some good points, like Killer Instinct could possibly be in an alternate universe as well. And like maybe there's some crossover there. I'm like, okay, yeah, it could have been. I went specifically with timelines, and that everything takes place on Earth, with the exception of things that are out in space.
Yeah.
But like all these islands and stuff are on Earth, and then over time the continents just shift into what we know as America. And that's when you get James Bond, and then you get Perfect Dark after that. And then way far off into the future, the world's like apocalyptic, and it's Killer Instinct. And I don't know, fun fact for you, but I said Killer Instinct takes place in the year 3094, which is an Easter egg to I'm 30 in 94, but actually so is Killer Instinct. In 94, it was, so I was just like, oh, 3094, like I just made that up because there's no official date for that game.
Nice.
But it's just so in depth. It's so in depth, and it's so crazy. And there was just connecting all the little Easter eggs and the different references and stuff. And I capitalized a little on Conquer, related to Banjo, actually, in my Conquer's Bad Fur Day theory video with it's about Barry. It's about Barry, his girlfriend specifically.
Okay.
And I connect to 12 Tales, which is the build that Tim Stamper teased he has, but it's not out. It's not out to the public. It's before Conquer swapped his kid-friendly attitude and went to Bad Fur Day. So super interesting there. But we know like a little bit of the plot, and so I connected all the little threads, right?
Nice.
And that connected a little bit to Banjo, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. You have like just the you could tell what you're doing isn't work. You could tell what you're doing is for fun. You could tell
Oh
that
yeah.
you could tell because you like I don't know how many people would do that much in-depth research if they really weren't passionate about it.
Right.
Like it's a
So,
lot of research.
like I don't ever take a minute to sit back and just think about it.
Hmm.
I'm just always like, oh, what can I do next? What can I
Right.
do next? So it's really cool when a video does well, and to see my channel start
Yeah.
growing, because like I kid you not, in the last 3 weeks I probably gained 2,000 plus subscribers.
Nice.
Like it's growing pretty rapidly, and
Nice.
I hope it continues to grow. But I hope to just bring more content. And what I really love right now that's happening is people are chatting about the games in the comments,
Hmm.
right? I've had a couple people that like comment specifically on like the Tooie video or the defending DK64 video, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try this game. I never actually played it, and I never wanted to until I saw this video. And I'm like, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. The video is not for people that like the game. I mean, it sort of is, but the video is not even for the people that hate the game. The video is for people who have never played the game,
Hmm.
and they are swayed by the hate or on the fence.
Yeah.
They hear all these negative things online because a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of modern sentiment for these older games is negative.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you can go back and look at the reviews, which is why I put the review scores at the beginning. This is the initial reviews, like DK64, like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 across the board.
Hmm.
Banjo-Tooie, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 across the board. Modern today sentiment, everyone talking about how it's bad, how
And it's
they
hard
hate
to
it.
believe that these games are called now retro
It
because
is.
it's 90s, but I grew up throughout the 90s. I was born literally in 89, the very end of 89,
Yeah.
December 89. So the fact that I grew up through the 90s and to hear 90 games, 90s music, 90s television shows and movies, retro and classics, makes me feel so old.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like 25 years, 26 this year, I think it is for Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's absolutely
Next
insane.
year, Banjo-Tooie is going to be 25.
Yeah. I hope they do something special for that.
Oh, they need to. They need to.
Nintendo Switch Online. That's what I want.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
anything, just put that game on Switch Online.
Oh, I know. I've been
Play.
searching that all the time. Like with between that and the Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door release date, which we finally got, I've been like Googling and Googling like a madman. Is there any leaks anywhere?
Yeah.
Give me a leak.
Yeah.
Let me
Just waiting for
know.
that content, waiting for that content to drop.
Exactly. But when you come back on this show, I want to see a Jiggylookback YouTube trophy.
Oh, like a YouTube plaque? That's what you're
Yes.
saying? Oh yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that is it a 100,000 subscribers or a hundred
Uh,
thousand views?
it's
Or
subscribers. I know it's subscribers. I don't know. They have three of them. They have bronze, silver, gold. I think.
if it
Oh,
was
they
a
might have
100,000
four.
views, I would have had it. So never mind.
Yeah, I think it's four. I think it's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. I want to say.
Okay. I don't know
How
what the
many
bronze
subscribers
one
do you have
is.
now?
About 5,000. Just
Okay.
under 5,000.
Yeah. So, because I think it's I want to say 100,000 subscribers for is that what it is for the
I think that's the silver button.
I think that's what I'm thinking, the silver. I think the bronze might be 50,000.
Okay.
And
So
then
shoot for bronze.
yeah, and then gold I think is 500,000 and I think platinum is 1 million.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get
get there.
there.
So, anybody watch this cuz we have been at wow, almost 2 hours. About 20 minutes will be 2 hours.
Yeah, it
Um
sounds about right.
yeah, this is what happens when you geek out about Banjo-Kazooie, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, Banjo-Tooie, and all the other fun stuff, right? But before I let you go, though, anybody watching this, give Jiggylookback a subscribe on his YouTube channel. Very simple to find, right? Just type in Jiggylookback right on YouTube.
Jiggylookback, all one word, but honestly, you'll find me if you type in Jiggylookback. I think at this point it pops up right away.
Yeah,
You'll
and
see a little anime looking dude with a game cartridge with a jiggy on it. That's me.
and I'm pretty sure that is the if you're watching this video, that is the image I have up on your thumbnail that'll be popped up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that'll be the one. So definitely give him a subscription, give him and watch his videos. His videos are actually really good. You
I
can
want to
tell there's a lot of work.
challenge. I want to challenge people on this one.
Okay.
I want, yes, do what you said. That would be
Mhm.
very much appreciated. But if you come from this podcast, I want to see you just whatever my most recent video is, just go in and type in Slasher Scotty sent me in the comments.
There you go.
That's what I want to see.
There you go. I know a lot of, I don't even remember what my subscriber count was last summer when I last uploaded something. So I might have lost some, I might have gained some. I know I have almost 600 now on this channel. My other channel has like almost 4,000. But I'm trying to get this one up.
Yeah.
But so
It comes
I
and
don't
goes.
even,
It comes in
yeah.
waves.
Yeah, I don't know how many people even are looking out for videos from me. Because like I said, it's been almost a year. You're my first one in the year, and I do have
Woo.
another interview. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's been rescheduled to this Friday unless it gets rescheduled again. That's going to be with Carrie and Camila Moore. They are what we all call in the horror industry the Doublemint twins, but they are Tina and Terry in Friday the
Oh.
13th, Part 4, the final chapter. And guess what? I met them last October, and I danced with the twin like Crispin Glover at the VIP party. That
Oh,
was my
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they will be on. I reached out to her, and she's on my Facebook. Carrie's on my Facebook. Camila doesn't have Facebook, and Carrie said at Monster Mania to reach out for an interview. She would love to do one. I did it, and we are setting one up. So hopefully
Very
this
cool.
Friday will work because tomorrow Camila got a job. She's gonna be on set. She has so they emailed me a couple days ago and had to reschedule. So they said they're both going to be in Santa Monica, California together on Friday and asked if they can just do it together. And I'm like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that'll
Well,
be
I've
great.
never been in Friday the 13th, but I do like banjo. So
There you go. Yes. Absolutely.
Da-da-da-da.
Yep. There you go. So thank you, Jiggylookback, for
Yeah.
joining me.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before I let everybody go, if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscription. Like this video, comment, share on social media, do all that fun stuff. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, oh my God, it's been so long since I've done this. All the other podcasting platforms, you can listen to that, give them a subscription, a like, whatever. Share it,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. And then of course go to my merchandiser, retro. Oh my God, it's been a long time since I promoted that as well. I'll have all the information in the description, but you can get my merchandise / Scotty signature shirts, all this stuff from my merchandiser. Get my book, The Ultimate Halloween Movie Experience, which was published by Bear Manor Media and has been set up and promoted by my agent from 3 iBooks. So check that out. Forward from Jamie Lee Curtis and has dozens of interviews and thousands of trivia questions within. And I have a Slasher Scotty Funko Pop that was actually released a year ago, last spring. So check that out. The guys at Funko Pops made a limited edition Slasher Scotty Funko Pop, and it is now available, so you can go on Funko Pop and get it.
That's awesome.
Yes, so all that and so much more. Like I said, give me a subscription here, and before you do that, go to Jiggylookback first and give him a subscription. Then come back to me because I know you want to come back to me.
Yeah, you just pause the interview, pop out,
Yes,
come
and
back
then
in,
come back and
then
hear
I'll
my
show you my
goodbyes.
shirt. Okay. But right
Yes.
now you gotta go back. You gotta subscribe. Okay. We'll wait.
Pause. Okay, welcome back.
Here's my shirt.
Oh, damn, that's really nice. I
was trying to look for Banjo. He's somewhere.
looking. I have bad eyes.
Oh, is that him? I'm trying to look in the camera. Or no,
I don't think that's
that's
him.
major. Oh, there he is.
There
I
he
knew he
is.
was on here somewhere. There he is.
There he is. I see him. Love it.
Jiggy.
I love the shirt. If it wasn't cold in my man cave down here, I would have had my banjo shirt on, but I have to wear a hoodie. I'm freezing and it's like 30 degrees or 40 degrees out, and I'm really
This
cold.
is the only shirt I have banjo on. It's so
Nice.
funny. I have like just sporadic. I have several Conquer shirts,
Nice.
and like I have oh, I do have this though. That's kind of fun. Here I go. I'll show this too. Oops. Watch this chair. It's like a hoodie blanket. It was what was on my chair, why it looked fuzzy. It's
Nice.
the Adventures of Banjo and Kazooie. It looks like,
Love
you
it.
know, Batman animated series, but it's
Love it.
Banjo. It's just silly.
I think I showed you the rug I got, like the little rug I got of the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door magical map. It was like,
Yes, it's really cool.
that's really nice. I have it right over there. I can't get it up because everything's on.
It's a
Like
rug.
the cable's on it, but it's so huge and it's so beautiful. And my mom got me for Christmas a Banjo-Kazooie shirt and it says Jiggy-O's on it. It's really cute.
Jiggy-O's. Yeah, I love it.
Really cute.
I'd eat that
All
cereal.
right. Thank you so much for joining me, Jiggy Look Back. You have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thanks
All right,
for having me.
buddy. Bye.
Bye.